Look, there's a hawk right there. The ocean's right there. Welcome. My name's Dr. Cheryl Meyer. I am a psychologist in my day job, but also a mom. And also I love to hike. I have my little dog, Leia. And so let's do a bit of a walk and talk today. I don't have much time left on this trail. So, Leia, come on. What was coming to me, it was about a week ago now, so I've just been letting it percolate for us, right? Just sit on the stove like a stew that tastes better after it sits for a while. Is I was meditating on, hold on, I think I have her leash too loose. I was meditating on this passage. See, I think it's the beginning of Joshua, and where, Joshua 1, I think. And so we hear God say to Joshua, be strong and courageous. And, for I will strengthen you and all these things, okay? Now, what I was doing, it says be of good courage and be strong. And so I was meditating on the Hebrew word for that. I was asking God, what does that mean? Because I don't want to just read words and just go, okay, be strong and courageous, because the world will tell you all these things like you need to go, own 5 businesses, that's strong, and that might be for some people if they're doing it for the right reasons. But to be strong and courageous, hold on, I have to figure out a way to have her leash and swing my arm because I'll tell you, I can tell you later. I'm doing this exercise thing. I have a trainer now, and so he wants a record. And so my thing is, I'll tell you right now, it won't count unless it's swinging. So I got to swing my arm while I walk. Anyway, I think that's how it works. I don't know. It's great though. I've lost 13 pounds, if you want to know. So it's possible. There are all these other things are possible for us that we didn't think were possible. Anyway, but that's not what I was going to talk about. What? Oh, she's like, I just want to sit in the shade. Look at her. Because I'm not anyway. So, Leia, we'll go back. Come on. Come on. You're fine. You just sat for an hour while I read Sir Gibby for us. Okay, so be strong and courageous. It's so crazy because, if I could just do this any way I wanted to, I don't know if I have the rights to use, but that guy, David Goggins, is that his name? He had this thing on X, and you can download it. So I have it. I would put it right here. He's it's so funny. But it might offend some people. But he's just you have to have a lot of, a whole lot, and he says some curse words, right? Of, I'll just say it I'll say, screw you, all right? He says it a different way, a more poetic way, no, in you. And I was reflecting on it because, and I wrote on that. So if you want to find it, it's on X. You can look at my name, Dr. Cheryl M, DrCherylM. You can find this because I don't plan to delete my comment, and it wasn't deleted. It was, I don't know, maybe 6 months ago, but it's still resonating with me where I said, it sounds like when Jesus said to Peter, get behind me, Satan. He had a lot of that, but not in this mean sense of I'm going to look at you and no, it's just no, I am going to be persevering. It said Jesus set his eyes like flint for Jerusalem. And Peter had said to Jesus, so Peter was a disciple of Jesus, right? Oh, I got to keep this arm moving. All right. He said to Jesus, now this may look scattered. This is not scattered. Just stay with me here because it'll change your life because it has changed me. I mean, he said this 6 months ago or whenever he said it. And So he said, Peter said to Jesus was saying, I'm going to go to Jerusalem. I'm going to lay down my life. They're going to crucify me. I'll raise in 3 days, blah, blah, blah. And Peter's like, no, you can't do that. And he had just testified a few verses before that Jesus was the Christ. So he said, God gave you that insight. And now when he said this, Jesus said directly to him, get behind me, Satan. You do not have the things of God in mind, but the things of man. So he's speaking to this thing that was influencing Peter. I think I'll turn around. Oh, I already told Leah we'd go back though. I want to keep my word even to my dog. I was like, oh, I want to walk more now. Maybe I'll take her. Anyway, we'll see. Maybe I'll take her to some shade. So we're almost back. So anyway, I got to get my steps in for my trainer. It's nice to be accountable to someone. He's good. Anyway, so back to David Goggins, because Goggins like runs for 14 hours straight and he's like, yeah, just persevere through it. Okay. And in life, this is exactly what God was telling Joshua in the Old Testament. And God is the same person as he was before. So if he says, be strong and of good courage, there's 2 words there, courageous and something else. And if I had an editor and all this stuff, I would like put it right here, But I can put it in the description. I know I can do that, or in a pinned comment below, or you can look it up. Do the work. I don't get to do all the work for us, right? I did the work of bringing this to your attention because, so I said in that comment, I just commented because it just showed up. I don't scroll. It just showed up in my feed. Sometimes I write to, I respond to people that show up in my feed. Randomly, it seems. Well, I just trust God to do it because he knows I don't scroll. I don't want to spend my time doing that. But, some people, it's important that they do for whatever reasons. I don't know. But I can't. Or you'd never see these videos. I'd never get anything accomplished myself. Well, I don't want to say that. Anyway, whatever. I don't know what I'd get accomplished, but a lot less. So I wrote to this. One second. Hi. It's a biker. Thoughts. They had a beard like down to here. Look, all you need is love. Love is all you need. Okay, so in those verses in the Hebrew, to be strong and courageous, it's saying like be persevering, it was just like be dauntless, face everything with this kind of hardness, like David Goggins describes. It's not be hard to other people and not be don't be kind. Like you're meant to be kind to other people, but you're meant to take things seriously and you're meant to go for it and you're meant to give it your all. And the only way, because when Joshua first went into the land, he's the one that came back with a good report, him and some others. 2 others, I think, or there were 3 of them that had a good report. And all the others said there's giants in the land. They're so big. Their grapes are like this big. And so they'll they just said they're going to attack us. And it's like, no, if God said to go in there and take that land, you take that land. That's what faith is about. Faith is about entering into the impossible. Our sermon this past week was on that. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. Well, faith is about entering into this impossible place. Forward action in trusting him. Right? That's one way to keep understanding what faith is. But you can understand it all you want and not act on it. You have to act on it if you want it to be activated in your life. And Jesus said it's a good thing. He said, if your faith is small as a mustard seed, you say to this mountain, there's a mountain right there, get out of the way. Stop getting in my path. And it will go into the water, all right? It will be washed away. And so we're meant to have authority in our lives. And we're meant to... Jesus says in Luke 10:19, I give you authority to step on serpents and scorpions. Keep them under your feet. There's lots of them on this trail. Well, not a whole lot, but I've seen a few. And I'm not setting sitting here going, oh, I'm going to go find a rattlesnake to step on. But if I need to step on one in my life, then I don't need to make any excuses. I trust the living God that created all of everything to help me. Now, I'm not saying to do that. A real rattlesnake. Okay, I'm not saying to do that, because you know how people will take words out of context on online platforms. I'm saying spiritually, psychologically, we are meant to stand up. We're meant to be stronger than we have been. Take yourself to your own edge. I learned that in an exercise video I used to do. It's like, go to your own edge, challenge yourself without judgment. Don't judge yourself, but get out there already. Let's change. Let's be the best version of ourselves that we actually can be, because we're made in the image and likeness of God, not because we're trying to build up this false personality self or our egotism, but because we can be strong. So like, be strong, right? All right, that's it. I thought this was going to be a lot longer, but that's it. I got to go swing my arm and walk a little more on my way back. Much love.